In this video, I'm going to show you how to make the Queens Park Swizzle. It's a very basic rum cocktail, but a cocktail that packs a hell of a punch in flavour. Oh my God, it tastes divine. It's kind of like a mojito, but kind of not. But in fact, when I've made it for people on events, they've generally preferred this to a mojito. Now, this cocktail was invented by Trader Vic back in the 1920s, actually in Trinidad, in the port of Spain, in the Queens Park Hotel, which is kind of like on the botanical gardens, hence the green. There's like a whole little story there. And stay tuned after I've shown you how to make this cocktail, because afterwards I'm going to do a little comparison with different rums just to see what difference the rum actually makes to this cocktail. And then in the comments below, after you've tried it and made it for yourselves, I want you to dive into the comments and give me a score out of 10. How do you rate this cocktail? Because me personally, I really do like a mojito, I really do. But if I'm giving a mojito kind of like a 7 or an 8 out of 10 for a rum cocktail, this has to go above it for me, because the depth of flavour is just amazing for this. So I would probably go for an 8, maybe a 9 out of 10 on the whole rum cocktail scale. Now, rum-wise for this cocktail, you have to remember Trinidad didn't really start distilling rum properly until after the end of World War II. The original recipe, from what we've got documented, did call for a black blended rum. Now, we could obviously go Goslings. That would be a good one in our little categories that we've done already. So we could go Goslings. We could go Plantation OD. We could go Pampero. But I actually just fancy, as I've just got some, I actually fancy going for the Pussers Gunpowder Proof. I do think this is going to work a treat. I've never tried it with this, so I'm looking forward to trying. But as I say, stay tuned at the end of the video, because I'm going to do a little taste comparison against them all, just to see which is the best kind of base rum for this. And then other very, very simple ingredients. I've got some freshly squeezed lime juice off my little lime squeezer over there, Demerara sugar syrup, some Angostura Bitters, and some fresh mint. We just want a tiny bit of mint. And I say tiny bit of mint because the actual recipe just calls for 4 mint leaves. So I've got some decent sized mint leaves here. I am going to stick to this. I'm going to stick to 4 mint leaves. Every little part of me wants to go like 7 or 8 mint leaves, but I'm just going to stick to 4 decent sized mint leaves. We do what we normally do, spank the mint, and we're just going to pop them in. And then I'm just going for 15 ml, half an ounce of freshly squeezed lime juice, so 1.5 ml of that. And then I'm going to do exactly the same with Demerara sugar syrup, so I'm going to do 15 ml, half an ounce of that. And then I'm going to go for my Angostura Bitters. I'm going to do, what's the recipe? It says 2 dashes for the actual recipe. Now, I have to say, I've seen this this cocktail made a lot of times, and and it looks really, really good like this, but I've seen a lot of bartenders add the Angostura Bitters at the end, and you'll see this kind of layered red at the top of this cocktail. I've seen it like that. I've been served it like that. Guilty conscience, I've also served it like that for quite a few years. However, once you start to get drinking them, it's actually better to put the Angosturas in now and then churn it all up together, because all the customer's got to do is churn that drink anyway. And it does look cool, I will grant you that, but the customer is all about the first sip, and you guys at home are all about the first sip. So I would actually just pop them in. And the other thing as well, I've seen a lot of bartenders add a lot of dashes to the top, and the recipes, every single recipe I've seen says 2 dashes. So we're going 2 dashes of Angostura Bitters. And then we are going for this rum. This is a good. I've had it before a few years ago, but I haven't had it for ages. You remember I did a review of the Gunpowder Proof spiced rum back in April last year, and that was a blinding spiced rum. So we're going for a 60 ml double bubble of this. And then all we're simply going to do now is we're just going to add plenty of crushed ice, about 2/3 full, like we would do a normal mojito. So 2/3 full of crushed ice. And then we're just going to take a long bar spoon and we're going to give it a churn, give it a swizzle. It's called the Queens Park Swizzle. So we're going to give it a swizzle. You know, if you've got a swizzle stick, do that. I haven't got a swizzle stick and my bar top's a little bit slippery, so I'm just going to give it a churn. And then when that's all churned together, we're just going to top up with more crushed ice. There we go. Lovely, jubbly. Just give it a final little churn. And then we're just going to garnish with a couple of sprigs of fresh mint. Now, I will say this mint, I've got a little plant. I've got a little plant from there. It's not the best mint. It's properly shredded up here. And you can sort of see it's coming green on my hands, which, you know. So just give that a little waft on the back of your hand, and there we go. Lovely kind of garnished up there. Let's get our jungle straw. What's this taste like? Oh my God, that is delicious. That is proper feisty from the rum, but the bitters and that subtle hint of mint coming through though. Remember, there's only four cubes, four mint leaves in there. But that is proper delicious. You've got to remember that rum, the gunpowder proof rum, is a little bit stronger, 54.5%. So you're going to get the kick of that. But that's perfectly balanced. The sweetness, kind of sour, mint rum. I love that. Now, as always, as I said, I like to give you some comparisons. For me, I do think that is the best one, the gunpowder proof. I really do like that because I love the flavour of the rums. But I kind of wanted to go down a little rabbit hole for this. So from this one, let's go this. I'll leave the bottles back up there, but I've done this with Goslings Black Seal. So that's kind of probably what the go-to rum would be for this. I've got the Plantation OD Original Dark in that one. I've got the Pampero Anniversario. So they're kind of the three kind of black blended rums. They're not really black, but in the sense that, you know, Plantation OD, I wouldn't call them the black, but I'd definitely put it in the same category as the Pussers Gunpowder Proof. And then finally, I wanted to go for a Trinidadian rum because that's where the cocktail came from. We know that those rums didn't really exist when this cocktail was invented, but I just wanted to sort of see. Now, taste-wise, this is really interesting because my two favourites are probably not in the proper black blended rum category. I actually really like the Plantation OD, and I love it with the Angostura 7-year-old. I think it is the Angostura 7-year-old is 10 times better than what the Goslings Black Seal is. And don't get me wrong, that's a great drink. I do love the Goslings, but there's just something. I just think Darling, they're perhaps a little bit golden in colour, not necessarily black, out and out molasses, Demerara kind of rums. Even the Pampero is nice, but Pampero, I don't rate the Pampero alongside the Angostura 7-year-old. So it might be a good comparison for you guys to do at home. Let me know what your favourite is. Do you actually prefer sort of a gold blended rum compared to the black blended rum? But for me, just purely because the flavour alone of the Pussers Gunpowder doesn't, you know, let's be honest, the Goslings Blacks, it doesn't really compete with the flavour of drinking them neat, and this is just a stunning cocktail. So now we've done the Queens Park Swizzle. Next up is one I've been looking forward to, right up there. We're going to be doing the Pussers Painkiller.